But it's like a gated community, you know, maximum security prison, gated community. Anyway, I'm gonna butcher the story, but so we get this bright idea on Sunday, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday it was Sunday. We get this bright idea. Well, I kind of get this bright idea. I'm like, hey, there's the lake there. Can't you like rent? It's a big pond. No, it's a pretty good sized lake. It just has a lot of like weird like legs that kind of, it's not like one big lake. It's like big in the middle, and then it has like these things that go off from it. It's weird. No, there's no gators. Just Gatorade. So I get this bright idea. I'm like, hey, you live on a lake. Why don't we go rent like a canoe or something and you go paddle around the lake, you know, just for fun. It's just a lazy Sunday afternoon, whatever, you know. And so she's like, well, okay, yeah, we'll figure it out. So she calls her mom because her mom works up at the rec center where they rent shit out. And she's like, well, they don't have canoes, but they have kayaks. So I'm like, oh, a kayak would be kind of fun. You know, we would each get our own kayak and we can go dick around in the lake. You know, no big deal. Okay, sweet. It's like $10 an hour. So we go up to the rec center. There's a restaurant there. So we get lunch. And she sees one of her friends from her karate class. And his name's Frank. And Frank's like, you guys are going to go rent a kayak? He's like, no. He's like, no. He's like, I got some kayaks. Whenever you want to come on over to my house, just come on over to my house, and you can take the kayaks out for free, whatever. You know, I set y'all up, you know?
Yes.
It's a beautiful story, I know. It's getting good. I got to set it all up. There's nothing much to set up. But so we're like, okay, so we have our lunch. We're like, all right, let's go kayaking. We got the guy's address. So we drive over a couple blocks, or there's not really blocks there, but so we drive over, and he's like, hey, Frank, you know, he's out mowing the lawn. He's like, I got these kayaks, you know, drag him on over. So he's got this little dock. We get our life jackets. We got everything we need. So we get it on over there, and so we got the kayak. Here's the dock, and we got the kayak sitting right there. You know, I'm all ready to get in. So we tie up the little rope, you know, to the edge of the thing, you know, yeah. I'm glad Judson's not watching. This is super embarrassing. And let me tell you a little something about this lake. Now, they have algae issues with this lake. It's a pretty dirty lake. Like, there's a lot of seaweed. You know, there's a lot of seaweed, a lot of things growing. It's pretty murky. It's not exactly, like, you wouldn't want to go swimming in it. Although people do swim in it, but you don't really want to be in the water too much. So I got this pretty nice polo shirt on, and I got my swim trunks. Because I figured, well, I got my swim trunks, whatever, you know, if you get a little wet, it's no big deal. And I got some sandals on. So we got the kayak, we got the oars, we got it all set up on the dock. He's like, okay, he's like, jump on in. So I put one leg over and just jump on in, and I freaking... And, oh, by the way, there's a dead bluegill floating right next to us, and I headbutt pretty much the dead bluegill. I go right in the water. The kayak goes over. My, like, swim trunks, like, come halfway down my ass, and I'm, like, gasping for air because I'm not much of a swimmer, and I, like, come back up and try to get in the damn boat, and there's seaweed all over my body, all over my legs. It's, like, hanging. Now the kayak's half full of water. And I'm trying to get in there. All the stuff is wet. I had sunglasses. I had her keys. Her keys are on me. I got suntan lotion. It's all freaking wet. I'm completely soaked. My shirt has got green seaweed all over it. And I'm just like, and he's like, whoop. And Samantha's trying not to laugh, apparently. She didn't say anything. So I finally get in. I'm like, oh, I'm fine, you know. Well, I was swearing up a storm. I'm like, God dang, fracking dead, dang it, you know. And it was super embarrassing. I was thinking immediately, like as I was going into the water, it was like happening in slow motion. As I was like headbutting this dead fish that was floating, I was thinking, I just want to go home. Because I knew something was bad. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I get back in the damn frickin' kayak, and then Samantha gets in, and Frank's like, okay, Samantha, be careful when you get in. I wish you would have told me that. So apparently they're not very stable. But I've never been in a kayak, so that's my excuse. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Samantha actually tells the story a little bit better. She thought it was the most funniest thing in the entire world. Great job not losing their keys. Yeah, I know. You would have never find anything in the bottom of that flipping lake. It is the worst. Classic Frank. He was actually a super nice guy about it. He's like, well, He's like, at least it happened here and not like in front of the rec center where everyone's like hanging out, you know? I'm like, yeah, it's true. I'm like, whatever. So now I stink like complete algae. I smell. I'm completely soaked. Like I got a nice polo shirt on. It's all green. Like that algae stuff like sticks to everything, you know? So then the whole time I'm like, can we just leave? I'm like, she's like, well, we can't just go out for 5 minutes and come back in. I'm like, you're right. So we paddled around a little bit. It was dumb. But I'd be up for doing it again. But that I had a 4X. I headbutted a dead fish. Oh my